I'm Mike Ryan. We've had a lot of videos on our blog, and if there have been a couple of central themes, one of them has been about how difficult it is to identify turquoise, because different mines can have similar looks, and there can be a variety of different looks from the same mine. A lot of that is to do because of differences in grade, and a lower grade Bisbee looks very different than a higher grade Bisbee, and that's true of most of the mines. So grading has become another important theme, and we have a grading system, Turquoise Grading rules, Turquoise Grading using the Roberts-Ryan rules that I developed, and you can read about those on our blog. It's all posted there. But if there's one thing that runs throughout all of our blogs, it's that our viewers love to look at beautiful turquoise. And for many, they just don't have the opportunity to see the highest grade of turquoise because it is so exceptionally rare. The gem grade, what I call the highest grade, the gem grade, is going to be somewhere around 0.1%, 1/10 of 1% of all turquoise, and oftentimes even less than that. It is among the rarest of all gemstones. So I thought it'd be fun to take a look at some of the examples from different mines of the highest examples of turquoise grade, the elusive gem grade. Now, you may have noticed I'm wearing my hat today, and on that hat there's a hatband with some gem grade turquoise. So I'm going to let you take a little closer look, and maybe you can think what it might be. And at the end of the video, we'll find out if you're right. So let me get a little closer here. Can you see that now? All that turquoise on that hatband. So we'll find out if you know your gem grade turquoise at the end of the video. Well, we're going to take a look at the individual groupings from the different mines, and then at the end we'll take a look at them, all of them together, which is going to be a pretty rare event. But here we are, and looking at the most expensive turquoise on the market, and that's Slander Bloom. And we can see here why this gem grade Slander Bloom is achieving some of those higher prices, because it's really quite exceptional, quite distinct, and a very special look for a very special mine. Slander Bloom. Next we have Godber Burnham. Boy, what a magnificent look at what has often been called the Burnham blue. Very distinctive kind of electric blue that is just not found very often at that mine. When Bruce and Jerry found this particular pocket, they only came up with, I think, 3,000 carats of this grade. Really is quite exceptional and amazing look for Godber Burnham. You know, oftentimes beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and certainly with turquoise, many of us have our own preferences, and what one may judge as the highest grade, someone may not be that impressed at all. But here we have two very different looks from Kingman. We have on the left the pinpoint dark web, which has generally been considered, or has been the most preferred look for a number of years now, and would be considered the gem grade from Kingman, especially occurring in its natural state where you haven't had the matrix treated with a surface treatment in order to darken the matrix. But one look that I really enjoy from Kingman is what is often called the water web. And when I grade these stones, I grade this level of Kingman very, very high. And oh no, admittedly, a lot of that is just because of my subjective preference for that particular look. But in any way, we see two examples of what I consider gem grade Kingman. When turquoise lovers are asked to pick their favorite turquoise, Bisbee often comes up really high on the list. And here we see, again, what I consider to be the highest grade of Bisbee turquoise. And I got this from Bruce Mead, who was the Bisbee rock man, and who really specialized in Bisbee turquoise. And we see again, Bisbee has a lot of different looks. Some prefer more of what is called the smoky look. This really has a lot more of the kind of reddish brown matrix that is so often associated with Bisbee. But whatever your preference, it sure is a treat to see beautiful stones like this. Candelaria. Now that's a famous mine, and one that there was never any staked claim on it. It all came off of private silver mining land. And we see in the center what is most often associated with the highest grade of Candelaria. Oftentimes it has, again, sort of a reddish glowing background to it, quite distinctive. But it does occur at the highest grades in two other looks. And we see on the left the almost never seen dark web. And these three cabs you see here are some of the few that exist. And it is just so exceptional as an example of the dark web turquoise. Then on the right, we see another very rare look. It has more of what I would call of a water web type of look to it. Similar to what we see in the center here, but with a distinctive flare and look to it. So here we see the highest gem grade from Candelaria. Hidden Valley. Now that's a mine of very low production. Again, most probably came from mining company land. Really very mysterious story. We're going to tell that story in more depth in Turquoise in America Part 3, which will be coming out by the end of the year 2022. But this highest grade, this gem grade of Hidden Valley, came out of one 14-pound rock. A big rock that Wayne Nelson had for many years. It was just sitting in his daughter's home on her shelf, library shelf, and he didn't have a way to cut it. It was such a big rock. And when he did, in one half of that rock came this exceptionally gem grade turquoise from Hidden Valley. Okay, it's the grand finale time. This is kind of like at the end of the fireworks on the 4th of July, and they let everything go. Kaboom! Well, here we are. This is probably something that not likely to see again. Can you remember the different turquoise? Well, here we have Kingman over here. Slander Bloom down here. Here we have these Candelaria. The Hidden Valley right here. Snuck in the center there is Bisbee. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have the Burnham up here. What an exceptional array of the highest grade, what I call gem grade turquoise. Oh yeah, and the turquoise in my hat band? Well, if you guessed Bisbee, you were correct.